what worked for me was changing diet, adding deficient hormones in, adding better sleep regimen in. And we're going to discuss all these things, getting into a circadian rhythm, um, getting on a right balance of supplementation with things that would trigger my body to have better metabolism, to process the foods, to get my gut health where it needs to be. And I think it's not just one of these things that worked, it's the combination of all of them. And that's exactly, I think, what your book found as well. So, how in the world did you jump from this patient and the ketogenic diet to uncovering that it's really metabolism that's at the heart of everything that's going on here?
That is the journey that I've been on for 6 years. So the first thing I'll say is that as soon as I saw this having such a dramatic impact with my patient, I began using it in dozens more patients and was seeing equally impressive and sometimes even more impressive results. I also started collaborating with researchers from around the world and hearing their stories of success using this same intervention. And some of them had used it long before I knew about it. I started also hearing spontaneously from other patients who just said they tried the keto diet for weight loss and found that it put their bipolar or other disorders into full and complete remission. So I knew that there was a strong and powerful signal. And so I went on a journey to try to understand, how on earth am I going to get the medical field to take this seriously? Because this is a diet for weight loss, number one. Number two, it's actually used for type 2 diabetes as well. And it's working for a wide variety of mental disorders. That doesn't make sense because they're all different. And it's also like even being studied for something like Alzheimer's disease. And at first, I was genuinely confused and a little overwhelmed. I'm like, how on earth can we make sense of all of this? But I went on a deep dive to the science to try to understand, are there any common threads among these different disorders? And the more I dove into that science and research, the more connections I uncovered. And at the end of the day, the broad overarching connection is they are all powerfully influenced by metabolic abnormalities or metabolic problems. And when you do a really deep dive into what does that mean, like at the cellular level, you end up in this place of better understanding these tiny things in our cells called mitochondria. And most people know mitochondria as powerhouses of the cell. They're actually so much more than that. But once you understand it, once you understand what they actually do in cells, the shocking thing to me is that you can actually start to connect all of the dots of mental illness. You can start to connect all of the biological factors, neurotransmitters, hormones, stress, inflammation, but you can connect the psychological and social factors too, trauma, neglect, substance use, you can connect all of the dots of mental illness and understand them in this overarching paradigm.
Yeah, can you deep dive a little bit more on mitochondria? Because this is where I was going to go next. How do they affect every cell in the body? And what is their significance, if you can expand upon it, to this mental illness? Because people might be thinking, how do these things in my gut impact everything else about me?
Yeah. So mitochondria are, again, a lot of people from biology class might remember they're the powerhouse of the cell. And what that means is that they take food and turn it into ATP. And they're the things that are actually using or oxygen or transferring electrons to oxygen. And we breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Most of that is happening with mitochondria. But in fact, mitochondria over the last 20 years, there has been an explosion of research in terms of like shocking roles that mitochondria appear to play in human cells. And again, this is cutting edge. Most of it was highly unexpected. And that's in part why I think this theory is so revolutionary, is because it combines a lot of really cutting edge research that most clinicians don't even know about, that most people don't know about. When you look at all of the roles of mitochondria, Mitochondria play a powerful and direct role in the production and regulation of neurotransmitters. They play a powerful role in the production and regulation of hormones, key hormones like cortisol, estrogen, testosterone, progesterone. They also play a direct role in inflammation. They directly, through their activity, turn inflammation on and off. They play a role in the gut microbiome, appears to be communicating with mitochondria in cells. Mitochondria are one of the big roles that I forgot is they are one of the major factors that control epigenetics. We all have genes in our cells, but really the thing that drives illness or health is actually which genes are getting expressed when. And it turns out that mitochondria are the most powerful regulators of gene expression. And they do this directly through a variety of signals. But so as I learned more about all of these different functions of mitochondria and what clear and direct roles they're playing in all these different things, as a psychiatrist and neuroscientist, it was like just shocking to me because I'm like, wait, neurotransmitters, wait, that's what we're talking about in mental illness all the time. Hormones, cortisol, wait, we talk about that too. And gene expression, we talk about that. Oh my gosh, this is connecting the dots of mental illness.